Okay, so let's talk about bar chords. Bar chords mean that you are putting a finger across multiple strings. So you're flattening the finger and it's literally pushing down multiple strings at a time. So if I was to just flatten these 3 strings, for example, and go across, that's what I mean by barring. It's easier to demonstrate that. We're going to start off by looking at the A shapes. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to first play the chord of A, which means middle finger is going to be on string 4, fret 2, ring finger, string 3, fret 2, little finger, we're going to go string 2, fret 2. So 3 in a line like this. Now it's important right now that we use these fingers, 2, 3, and 4. You can do it with 1, 2, and 3. You know, like if I was going from, say, an A to a D, then it makes sense to use these fingers. But it all depends on where you're going next. And right now, what we're going to do next is move into a bar chord. So what I want you to do first is you're going to play this A chord here. You're going to strum across. Then what I want you to do is I'd like you to slide it all up 1 fret. So we're not going down strings, we're not going up strings. So wherever you were with the A chord, keep the fingers on the strings, just slide them up to fret 3. Now what we're going to do is you're going to put your index finger on fret 1. So instead of the open string, the index finger now replaces the open string, and it is going to bar across, and it's going to be pressing this 5th string from the floor, but it's also going to be pressing the 1st string. So it's pressing multiple strings. That's what a bar is. A bar is where the index finger, or whatever finger you're using as the bar, goes across multiple strings. And now we're going like this. So we're going across. I do not think it's a good idea to be barring all 6. Quite often you see people, when they bar here with an A shape, they'll be barring all 6. I don't think that's a good idea. You're wasting energy because now you're pushing down 6 strings. That's going to be much harder. I say, make sure that this starts on the A string, finishes on the E string again. So we're going to strum across. So instead of our open strings on string 5 and 1, string 5 and 1 are now being replaced by finger 1. This finger 1 replaces the open strings now. Okay. So that makes it A sharp. And a sharp is 1 fret above the natural. So if the natural is A, this fret 1 makes it A sharp. So we're going to look at it in terms of sharps. Now, what we're going to do here is we're now going to look at A minor. So we know that this shape here is A major. Now to make it minor, we take away our little finger and put our index on fret 1 on string 2. Okay, so you've got index on fret 1 of string 2, ring finger exactly where it was, fret 2 of string 3, middle finger is going to be on fret 2 of string 4. So we've got a sad sounding minor now. So instead of the major, we've got more of a sad sound. And that's actually quite monumental, going from major to minor. The Beatles love doing that. That's a huge Beatles sound. And another time where you hear it going major to minor is Under the Bridge by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Anyway, so we're going to the A minor now. What we're going to do now is we're going to move this up to A sharp minor. However, because we're using the bar, we're going to have to change the fingers. So if this is finger 1, that now needs to become finger 2, that needs to become finger 3, that needs to become finger 4. What do I mean by that? So replace this index with the middle finger. Put your little finger on fret 3 of string 3, put your ring finger on fret 3 of string 4, and this middle finger is now on fret 2 of string 2, okay? So it's like this. And then what do? Well, now we put the bar. Make sure you are looking at the diagrams. Don't just follow me. Really look at that diagram, okay? So, again, this finger 1 is now going to be pressing onto string 5 from the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's also pressing on string 1. So, string 5 was an open string in A minor. And string 1 was also an open string. Now that we've moved it up, like this, we're now barring across. So on string 5, that's being pressed down, and on string 1 is being pressed down, both by the same finger. That's why we're calling it the bar chord, okay? And now let's go across the string. And if we want to hear how clear it is, we can go through like this. I do always recommend going. Okay, actually, I'm not very clear on that finished string. Okay, now the best way to get a good bar is, as you can see, have this behind the index finger and thumb pinching towards each other. Okay, good. So these are the A shape bar chords. We've got the A major shape, and we've got, which then looks like this when it's a bar chord. And then we've got the A minor shape, which then, let's say we did it like this, which then slides up. Now, you can play these shapes on anywhere. For example, if I wanted to play E minor, I could play it up on fret 7. And then if I wanted to make it E major, I just, do the A shape and then slide the A shape up to fret 7, as in my index finger on fret 7. So I'd slide it up to fret 9, and then the index finger goes across 7. Okay? Now look, if that's too complicated, don't do that bit yet. Just stick to doing major, and then the minor. So those are the A shapes. What that means is they're starting off the 5th string, and they are just replicating this A major shape and this A minor shape, but they're being done with a bar. Now, let's look at the E shapes, okay? So the 2 E chords we've got E major, which is this one here. So on string 1, 2, 3, on string 3, you're going to do fret 1. String 4, you're going to do fret 2 with the ring finger. String 5, you're going to do fret 2 with the middle finger, okay? And that's the E. So it's the same as A minor, but it's all up one string, okay? Really look at the diagram, and you're strumming across all 6. This is like Johnny Cash, kind of, I hear that train a-coming, a-rolling down the track, or whatever it is. Now, to turn this into a bar chord, what do? Yes, so we would slide it up. But just like the A minor chord, even though this is E major, just like the A minor, we're going to have to switch the fingers around. So finger 1 becomes finger 2, finger 2 becomes 3, and finger 3 becomes 4, okay? So take a good look at the diagram. You're now going to be doing, so middle finger is now on fret 2. Little finger now goes on fret 3. Ring finger now goes on fret 3 as well. And then the bar comes across. Now this bar is now going to be pressing on to string 6. It's also going to be on string 2 and string 1. So you're now barring across those. And again, you've got a good finger position behind. That thumb is flat behind, pinching to give you that leverage. So I'm going to do it on fret 1. Now. Yeah, exactly. And I'm not actually getting quite a clear sound. So you're going to have to move things around till you get that really clear sound. There we go, I've got it now. This diagram is actually showing it up on fret 3, which makes it a G chord. Can you see that? So all I have to do here is go up to the G chord here. So if I was to do it the way that the diagram shows it, I'd play my E here. And then what I could do is I could switch the fingers now. So finger 1 now becomes finger 2. Finger 3 becomes finger 4. Okay, so I'm playing the E now, but with one finger up. So instead of finger 1 here, I'm finger 2 here. Instead of finger 3 here, it's finger 4. Instead of finger 2, that becomes finger 3. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm going to do it like this. Okay. Now I'm going to slide it up to actually, so these two are on 5, and then your index is on 3. Do you understand what I'm saying? The open strings have now been replaced by this fret 3 that is being barred. So my index is pressing down on string 6. It's also pressing on string 1 and string 2. Watch. So these fingers still on their same strings like an E shape. And now I'm going to strum all 6 strings. Index is barring on 6 and it's barring on 2 and string 1 as well. And I've got my thumb pinching behind, and I'm going to make sure that my form is as good as it can be, and I'm strumming across, okay? There we go. Okay, that takes quite a lot of coordination in the hands to line that up. It's going to take quite a lot of practice of trying and failing and trying and failing. So you've got to have some grit. Okay, so you've looked at the E major shape. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the E minor, which means you just take away the index finger, okay? Remove the index finger. So it's O, 2, 2, O, O, O. Now what we're going to do, swatch the fingers around. So 2 becomes 3, and 3 becomes 4. So 3rd finger on the 5th string, 4th finger on the 4th string, fret 2, okay? Have a go. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to actually slide it all the way up to fret 9. So don't go down here, don't go up there, keep the fingers right where they are, okay? So finger 4 on string 4 on fret 2, you see there? And finger 3 on string 5 on fret 2. So keep these fingers as they are. What we're going to do, you're going to move them all the way to fret 9. Now, that's probably going to be the 4th dot for most guitars. If you don't have a dot on fret 3, it will be your 3rd dot. You can see that I've got a pattern there, there, and you can see there's a dot on it, okay? So slide it up to fret 9. Then what we're going to do is you're going to then place your index finger barring across fret 7. Now, this is going to be harder. The reason we're going higher up is because it's slightly easier to do it higher up to build the muscle memory. What's going to happen is this finger is now going to bar across string 6. It's also going to be pressing string 3, strings 2, and string 1. So we're going to need good posture to do that. Relax the hand, visualize it working well. So again, this is now on, the ring finger is now on fret 9 of string 5 from the floor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the little finger is on fret 9 of string 4 from the floor, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this finger is barring across fret 7. Now, it needs to be pressing string 6 down, and it also needs to be pressing string 3, string 2, and string 1 with the thumb pinching behind. Okay, this is quite a bit harder now. That's why we're doing it up here on 7. Hotel California intro. Okay, and again, let's go down. And now go through each individual string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again. That's it. So we've had the major chord here. Now let's just swip the fingers around. We've got 2 for like 2, 4, and 3. And then shoot it up to 3. Okay. Now we've got the minor chord, right? So again, these 2 fingers, the E minor chord using fingers 3 and 4. All the way up to 9 with these 2 fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Index finger across fret 7. The reason we're doing it higher up, because it's a bit easier to bar across 3 strings the higher up you go, because you're having to press less string down than you'd have to press if you're all the way over here. Again, nice. You've got this kind of like pinching motion. Nice and relaxed. There you go. And I actually use this finger to like push that finger down a little bit to give myself a bit of leverage. Do you see what I'm saying? I can. Let's see if can I do it without? Oh, I can do. But sometimes I find it helpful to press in a little bit there, give myself a bit of extra support. The E minor bar chord shape is a bit harder. Okay, most important thing with this is you're going to have to be patient. Remember that back in 2005, I think it was, to just get the E major bar chord shape, to get all 6 notes sounding clear. And I just would come home from school and I'd try again. And then I'd, come home the next day and I'd try again. And then I'd try again. And then I'd try again. And eventually I got it. And it's going to be the same with you. And then remember, after that, then the minor shape is, I mean, that's even harder because you're now having to bar across 3 strings. So you're going to have to trial and error, play through each note and find out which ones are buzzing, which ones are clean, and allow your body to adapt. So stay as relaxed as you can be so that you let your body adapt. Okay, because your body's very good at gathering information. So obviously I can tell when someone's done a lot of practice because their body has naturally shortened the movement and has naturally found better ways to do things. The more we do something, it's like walking. The more you walk, the less energy you put into it and the less big the movement is and the more the body stabilizes. Whereas when you take your first step, you're going to be very like, whoa, like wobbling all over the place. But then a year or two after taking your first step, you're just walking down the street. It's all automatic. The body is always error correcting. It is always trial and error. It's always gathering data. It's a bit like a robot that's standing up for the first time and falling over. It's gathering information. You've got to let it do that and let it adjust, and then write down any things that, any common things that are getting in the way. Maybe your fingers are too far from the frets, or maybe your finger needs to, you're coming up too high or down too low, or whatever it is. Okay, write down what's working for you so that the next day you don't have to go and slip over the same stones to get to the point where you got to at the end of that practice. The other thing is visualize it in your head. Picture yourself playing it. Picture yourself playing it with ease and make sure your body's relaxed when you're visualizing it so that you relax when you play it. You associate that movement with being relaxed, not with being tense. Because it's very easy to associate something new and difficult with tension, and then you tense every time you do it. So every time you visualize it, try and be relaxed so that when you do it, you automatically have trained your body to relax when you're doing it, because the body doesn't know the difference between visualization and action. It thinks the two things are the same. For example, if you were to picture walking on a nice, beautiful beach with palm trees, if you did that, you probably relaxed in the exact same way you would if you were on that beautiful beach. Likewise, when you imagine something terrifying, we all do that from time to time. You actually feel the same fear in your body that you would feel if you were experiencing something terrifying. Now, that doesn't mean you're attracting it into your life. No, it just means you don't feel very good. Picturing it is so good, visualizing it working. And so it's like when you build the chord up and play it, drop the hand down. Before you lift the hand back up, or whether it's the first rep or the second rep, doesn't matter. Actually visualize yourself doing it. Visualize it already being there, so you're just connecting the dots.